Hello and welcome to the Life in Our 20s podcast. And in today's episode, I'd like to ask you all the question of what are your opinions about the internet? Is the internet still the same to you as it was a couple years back? And I don't mean like going back 10, 15 years, right? I mean going back like 2, 3 years ago. Does it still feel the same? Or is it different? And how so? If it is different, how so? Well, if you'd like to hear my opinions about the matter, stick around and listen to the end of the episode. All right, and before getting into this, just quick update. I have been very busy this month, the busiest I've ever been, and that is why we're getting this episode so late. And I had said on a previous episode that I would possibly change the format of the podcast just for 1 month. We didn't have to do that, or I should say we couldn't really do that due to some, certain circumstances. But I'll just let you all know right now, for January, there is an episode that I have planned, and I'm still trying to see if I can have my friend come along and do the episode with me. And it is going to be all about travel. And we are going to go over, if he wants to join in on this, we are going to go over um, my recent experience with traveling, previous experiences with traveling, and his personal experiences with traveling as well. Just because I feel like traveling is something that you should do in your 20s. Before you settle down and have kids and stuff. I mean, you can do it when you have kids, but you most likely have to wait till they're a little bit older just so that, it's not too chaotic. No tantrums, no little accidents here or there. And so, yeah, I feel like traveling is something that you should do in your 20s, most definitely. And we'll cover that in a future episode. Anyway, with that out of the way, now on to the topic for today's episode. And I'll try to keep it somewhat brief, like 45 minutes. I am recording this a couple days. What is this? It's the 28th, so a couple days before New Year's. New Year's Eve, right? And I have to clean my room and, like, the kitchen. The kitchen. Uh, because I plan on having, we always have people come over, but I plan on inviting a couple other people, like friends and stuff. And I don't know if they'll be able to make it. They might have other plans, but I would like to invite them, just to invite them, and I want to make sure everything's clean and organized mostly. It's not really like dirty, but need to organize because, there's just stuff thrown around from Christmas, all the Christmas presents and stuff. So I'll try to keep this brief because I have some other stuff to do. This is always the most hectic time of the year. At least for me, you have all these holidays coming up, and I still got one more in January that me and my family do, but it's a little bit more of a relaxed, chill holiday, And so yeah, so let's get into this topic for today. Has the internet changed, and how so? And I think yes, it has most definitely changed from where it originated. Back in the day when the internet first became a thing, with all that dial-up internet and all that, it has changed. And that's obvious. The internet has become way faster. It's a lot more interconnected than it was back then. Back then it was just uh like you know chat forums here and there, maybe a couple like travel websites and sort of things like that. They were kind of figuring out what they could put on the internet and have work. Um there are interesting stories of the first few times that people ordered things online, where you would just kind of like look online to see what they had, kind of like a pamphlet, right? And then it would have the shop's number there, and you'd call it up, give them your credit card information, and then they would just like mail you the stuff. And it was like, that was unheard of back then. Like, like, yeah, you could place an order and have them ship it to you, but you'd have to go to the place or like have the number. But with just a quick little search, you can search up like for example, a book that you're looking for. You look up uh like this book that you're looking for, and it just gives you like shops that may have it, and then you just call them up and then you order it. That was unheard of, right? So yes, the internet's changed in that aspect, but what I'm more focused on is like the internet compared to like a couple years ago. I'm talking max 5 years ago. I mean, like the internet, let's say like 7, right? Let's say like, because right now it's we're heading into 2025 pretty soon. 5 years ago was COVID, so that's probably not a good example. But like compared to like 2018, 2017 internet, 2019 even, what the heck happened? Everything changed, bro. It is awful. It is a cesspool. Like, I used to think that Twitter was like bad and it was just a cesspool of people like, talking shit and like, giving their unwanted opinions, honestly, on things that really didn't need opinions to be given on. It's just like really horrible. And I don't mean like a lot of people will point out like the political stuff and that. I don't mean that. Just like morally, a lot of these takes that people have are fucking awful, It's like wishing death on people that like, like have done nothing wrong and have had like maybe a slight miscommunication. Everybody just like, like riots, like they just, it's like this giant mob after you on the internet for no reason. And then like cancel culture became a thing. And I think the internet like has just it's like become that, but like in its entirety. You go to like YouTube comments, you go on Instagram, you go on Facebook, everybody's just hateful for no reason. It is awful. I saw this post on Instagram the other day on my feed. Like, and I will say I've been scrolling way too much lately, but I saw this post on my feed, and like, it was this video of a woman saying that she like beat cancer and stuff. And then um you see people like react to it, and they're like, no, you should have died. Like, what a waste of a human. You're not doing anything, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, holy shit, dude, what the fuck? And it's just like the simple, the simple, like the reason why they like did that is because it was like the lady was like vegetarian or something. And they're like, oh, you're such a snowflake, blah, blah, blah. You should have died. You like, you got no spine. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck is this? And I don't remember seeing that back in the day as much. Like, I remember when I first got Instagram, like, and it was mostly just for pictures. Like, you could upload some videos and stuff, but it was pretty bad quality. I remember like back, this was like middle school for me. And I know that there are people that are like, slightly older than me that were there like when Instagram launched and everything. And like, they're the real pioneers of Instagram and like how it should be used and stuff. But I remember like it was just a way to connect with friends, mostly like see what they're doing on their day-to-day basis. Like, it's like stupid things that they'd post like, hey, look, I'm at Taco Bell getting a taco. Like, it was stupid things like that. And then like, um how would I put this? It devolved into something so horrible. Like, and like everybody started fixating on numbers. And I'm just going to say people were right back then. Like, you shouldn't focus on the numbers. And now, like, years later, you look back and you're like, holy shit, they were right. Because now the only thing that anybody can think about on these sort of platforms are numbers, numbers, numbers. And it made it even worse, like, once they started monetizing this stuff, because people were like, oh, I could make a job out of this. And I'm not saying like, you shouldn't chase, like, money, like, but have some dignity while you're doing it, because some people will do the craziest, dumbest things online for money. And I don't know, the internet just isn't as fun as it used to be. And I'm finding myself more and more detached to social media, like, and I'm trying to find other ways of enjoying social media. So I'm going back to what I've seen other people do, where it's like slowly ease yourself off of using the internet. And I'm trying to do that mostly with social media. Like, I don't think I could give up the internet completely, because I still like to be able to message my friends. And yeah, you could do that through, like, your phone number or whatever. But like, once you have a group chat or something like that and it's on a social media, it's hard to get off of that. Same thing that, like, people complain about, like Android users not being able to use iMessage and bullshit like that. It's like, oh, but the group chat, like, they can't really be a part of it because they don't get all the features. And I'm like, oh yeah, cool, whatever, I don't care, because I'm an Android dude. But, like, no, they're not gonna make the jump over to, like, a regular phone number group chat or something. Uh, just because, like, one person. Anyway, whatever. So I'm trying to ease myself off of using social media mainly, and I'm trying to find things that make me a lot more, like, fulfilled and happy, like, to watch and stuff. So I recently, well, like a month ago, yeah, about a month ago, I built a gaming PC, and, like, it cost me a good amount of money. It cost me a good chunk of cash. I didn't go all out, you know. I have friends that have spent way, way more on a PC, like 2 to 3 times more. All right, so I have friends that have spent 2 to 3 times more on a gaming PC. So I was pretty laxed about it. Pretty relaxed. And I've been trying to find video games to play with, my friends and stuff. And it feels so odd because I'm so used to the console, like, way of doing things. Um, and I mean, like, basic console. I don't mean, like, hopping online on, like, Xbox Live and, like, playing like that. Didn't really have internet like that as a kid. And a lot of the games that I wanted to play, I could not play because my parents were those parents that were, like, really strict about the rating on video games. So if it was E or E10 plus, right, I could play it. And even if I was like 9 or something, because they're like, yeah, E10 plus, it's like, whatever. That's basically like have some adult supervision, right? Whatever. But as soon as it hit T for teen, they're like, no go. You have to be like, 13, 14 to play that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So a lot of the games that I want to play, I couldn't even play. Don't even get me started on, like, rated M games. Those were like out the window, get them out of my face sort of thing to my parents. The only way that I would play those is, like, by going over to, like, friends' houses or, like, over to my cousin's house and play it with them there. And they would still, like, monitor that, but, like, it was mostly just, like, with Call of Duty and stuff. They just didn't want me to be playing stuff like GTA, where it has, like, a lot of, like, sexual content and that type of stuff. But I mostly played, like, like Call of Duty and those sort of games, like, like, sort of like first person shooters, or like action adventure games that, like, or like, there's some blood and some violence in it. So I would play those. And what I mean by, like, the basic console experience is, like, I would go over to their, like, houses and stuff, and we would play, like, co-op, split screen, like, and, like, it's so different now being able to, like, just load up a game and just connect and be able to play, like, online. And I don't get me wrong, I've done this before. Like, I remember playing, like, a bunch of Minecraft, and of course I didn't have a PC, so I couldn't play Java, right? I played the Bedrock edition, so the one that's, like, cross-play between all the consoles and PC. I used to play that on my Switch. So I do, like, have a slight experience of being able to, like, just connect online and play with friends. But it's more like cozy, sort of slow going games like Minecraft. Like, and don't get me wrong, people can like, get Minecraft done super quickly, like, get all the achievements and stuff, but we like to just take our time and, like, have fun with our builds and just kind of talk and stuff. So, yeah, so there's that. And so it's odd having to find a game where we could all, like, enjoy it and connect at, like, whatever time we want to. It's been a struggle. But I find it a lot more fun than watching other people play it, or like watching videos online, because you're actually doing something, and it's not this, and I hate using this, but it's like the only term that we have for it, like watching all of this brain rot stuff online. It's just horrible. And I think I might have talked about this stuff. Like, a lot of this stuff will go hand in hand with that other episode I did. I think it was on like phone addiction or something. Um and I'm actually going to check right now just to make sure that we don't, like, overlap slightly. Um but anyway, the internet's just a horrible place now. Like, even content on YouTube isn't as fun as it used to be. Like, I remember being able to watch skits and stuff as, like, a kid, and they were so funny. Like, the way that they would, like, play around with concepts and, like, parody and stuff. But nowadays it's just boring, like, because it's hard to find anything that interests you. And, like, I've heard this been like I've heard this um before, and, like, people have said this before, and it's just different. Everything's like algorithms, like, and they feed you things. You don't look for things anymore. You're just fed all these videos. And it sucks, because back then you'd be able to, like, follow creators, and only those creators, because you like what they put out, like, But nowadays it's hard to, like, discover creators and, like, follow them and stuff. So it's a lot more boring. And I've just been feeling it more and more. And I know I'm, like, kind of repeating what I said last time, but it's just been bad. So I'm thinking of just, like, basically unfollowing, like, all these big creators that I follow, like, on social media and stuff. And I'm gonna just turn it into, like, a old, like, white lady's Instagram, or, like, Facebook account. And I'm just gonna follow, like funny videos, and, like, cat and dog pictures, and that's it. Like, what it was meant to be. And, like, it just brings me back to, like, back when I used to watch, like, America's Funniest Home Videos with my family and shit. Just funny, like, fails and stuff. People, like, slipping and falling, or dogs doing dumb things. And yeah, I mean, like, it's just because the internet is just so ugly now. It's so bad. And that brings me back, like, those videos that I just talked about, like, bring me back, like, to a time before the internet, or, like, before I had internet, I should say, because people had the internet. I just hadn't had it yet. I didn't have it till I was, like, 14 or something. And the majority of kids had already been, like, playing online and stuff, and, like, had some experience with the internet. But I didn't really experience it till, like, 14 years old or something. But yeah, I mean, like, what has made the internet so bad? Like, everybody's so angry for no reason. And, like, don't get me wrong, there are people that, like, voice opinions about stuff going on in the world, and they have a right to be mad. Like, like, oh, like, the economy is plummeting, or, like, um the housing market, this and that. They have a right to be angry there. Like, you know, things have been messed up. But some people will complain about the dumbest things ever. Like, they will go on like super long rant about how they went to McDonald's and they got one fry less compared to last time. And I'm like, okay, like, I get it. You're like, I didn't get my money's worth, but dude, it's one fry. Like, you know, it's not that big of a deal. There's people that like complain about everything, and they complain about things that don't even affect them. And that's like, you know, that it doesn't really piss me off, but like, it just gets annoying after some time. Just hearing the same thing over and over and over again. It's just slightly different. Like, you know, it's the same rant, just slightly modified to fit a different, like, you know, a different topic. Like, it's just awful. And I just miss being able to like tune out from that stuff. Like, you know, back when I was a kid and like I did have the internet and stuff, like, you know, in my teen years, there were times when I just like forget about that stuff and just hop online with my buddies and like play some video games. And that kind of distracted me from the other side of the internet. That's just people like, you know, shitting on each other and like talking smack for no reason. But like, you know, you get older and you can't really do that as much anymore because, you know, I have buddies that have kids. Like, I have cousins that have kids. They can't really hop online anymore. And then there's also the fact of like us having different schedules. Like, you know, some of us work overnight like me. Other people work during the day. So like sometimes I'm still sleeping when people are like, you know, up, or sometimes they're sleeping when I'm up, or sometimes like, you know, I'm at work, they're at not, or they're at work, I'm not. And like, you know, schedules just don't line up, things like that. So it's hard to distract yourself from this stuff. And then like as a kid, even you could like go outside and play still and do stuff like that. But like, you know, as an adult, you're like, what the heck am I going to be doing at a park by myself? Like, you know, that's just creepy. And then you try to get your buddies to hang out with you or something, like at the park, like, you know, maybe toss around a baseball or something, football, play some spike ball, like, you know. But like, you know, again, schedules don't line up. So you can't really distract yourself from the internet, and you end up getting bored, like really, really fucking bored. And it's so easy to just grab your phone and hop on social media and start scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And I fucking hate that because like I enjoy it so much, but I hate it at the same time because I see so much stupid stuff going on there. And like, you know, I've done really good about staying off Twitter because like, you know, like every once in a while I'll hop on because they put a lot of like movie news on that, like who's been casted for a certain movie, when is that movie going to come out? Like, you know, like recently the Batman Part 2 with Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson, it got delayed, so it's not going to come out till like 2027. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, dang, this sucks. And then you go in the comments and the comments are just garbage, dude. There's everybody's just talking smack and hating on like, you know, the current state of like, you know, movies and stuff. And like, they're like wishing directors would die and be replaced. And I'm like, dude, what the heck is going on here? So there's times when I will go on Twitter and then like I'll be like, "Oh, this is neat. This new movie's coming out." And then I'll go into the comments even though I know I probably shouldn't, and then I just see the most degenerate responses ever. And I just go, "Dang, okay, that's enough Twitter for today." And I've only been on there for like tops 30 seconds. Like, you know, I read the title, I looked at the picture, then went in the comments, and then I was like, "Okay, that's enough." So I've done a good job of like staying off Twitter. Twitter's just a cesspool. And like, you know, Instagram's going up there next because like half of the comments on videos are just really messed up. Like, you know, they're just degenerate behavior. And I'm like, you know, you'd see that every once in a while back then. Like, you know, somebody had a horrible take, like, you know, every once in a while. But now it's like 50% of the internet's just that. And don't even get me started on like the AI stuff. The AI stuff is fucking annoying, dude. Like, you go on the internet and half of the stuff is AI bullshit. Like it's an AI voice. They can't even pronounce anything right. The pictures are all AI and they're like fucking edited to shit. And the story doesn't even make sense half of the time of like what they're trying to say. And most of it's just conspiracy theory bullshit of like how Abraham Lincoln is still fucking alive somewhere, like, in the Pentagon bullshit. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck is this shit? What happened to the internet? Like, the internet used to be a like giant community for people to like hang out and talk, like, and that includes like video games, social media, like, um and by social media I also include like text, like services. Like back in the day, don't even try going on there now, but back in the day, Kik, not the streaming service, it used to be like, where kids would go when they didn't have like phone numbers and they wanted to text with people. Like, I had that in middle school. Like, you download it, you're connected to Wi-Fi, you could talk to your buddies. Now it's a cesspool. Don't even go on there. There's a bunch of like just bots and malware viruses and this and that. It's horrible. But it used to be like a place of community. You used to be able to like hang out with your buds online, like, just texting, or even like Skype, like, that sort of thing. Social media, like, be able to like share posts of like what you're doing, what you've been doing, what you're going to do, some funny videos you saw or some. And you can still do that now. But like, for some reason, we're drawn to the little discover page and we like to scroll because there's that chance of you finding something good in there. Like, I found some cool things on there, like, some short films that people have produced, some cool photography stuff here and there. But it's like very rare. Like, and half of the stuff is just bullshit, brain rot. And then you get that one cool little thing that you found and you're like, whoa, this is so cool. And then you go, maybe I'll find another one. You start scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and your brain's like, no, we have to find another one. Like, but you don't. Like, and eventually you get bored and you just close your phone, and then like you get bored of not being on your phone, then you go on your phone again. It's like a fucking cycle. It's horrible. And I hate it. And I hate what the internet's become. And everybody's so fucking hateful to each other for no reason. Everybody's like super racist. Everybody just hates anything that's different. They hate the opposite gender. They hate like, other races. They hate like, different classes of like, social classes. It's just all boring. Like, they hate any opinion that you have. And it's like people will just like bandwagon and like just start dumping everything on you. Like, one person starts it and then it's just an avalanche of like, bullshit heading your way. And that's why I don't comment on like social media things, and that's why I keep all my accounts to private, except for like the podcast ones. Those are public. And I've been wanting to do more stuff on the social media, but then I'm kind of hesitant. Like, I'm afraid that I'll say something and then people will just like cancel me out of nowhere because like they misconstrue your words, or they just don't like what you do. So like I don't know. I've always been like kind of paranoid of like that sort of thing. Somebody takes what I said and then just kind of reworks it, and then it like, builds a narrative out, or like builds a new narrative around it, and then just go, hey, yeah, this guy said this thing. Let's go after him. Like that's kind of scary to me, But I don't know. I guess I'll get around to it eventually. New year, new me, sort of thing. And I mean, we're only a couple days away, and I have been looking into switching jobs. I am in the process of that. It's a little bit of a drawn out process, I might say, because I do need my college transcripts, and I ordered them digitally, which I thought would be like oh, we email it to you, by the end of the day sort of thing, because they do need to process it. But tell me why they said it would take up to a week. Like, I ordered them like a week ago, and they're still not here. I checked my spam and everything. Like, there's nothing in my email. So it's a little bit drawn out of a process. Like, But yeah, I do hope to change jobs soon-ish. And it will rework my schedule. So instead of like working on the weekends. I should have the weekends free. And I'd still technically be working part-time, but that's just due to the nature of the work. If there's work, I work. If there isn't, then I don't. That sort of thing, you know? Um, but it's a good, like, you know, little base, and then I can work on my side business that I've been wanting to do without being tired or like sleepy, which is what I hate from this job. Um, because I don't know, it's just mentally exhausting to be there every day doing the same thing over and over and over again. But anyway, off topic. I do hope on posting to the social media someday in the near future. Don't like count on it. Like, you know, I'm still pretty stupid when it comes to that sort of stuff, and I don't know what to post. Like, you know, on my personal page, like I post like my photography and stuff, which, like, you know, half of it's pretty shit, to be honest, because most of the time when I go and I see cool things, I'm like, whoa, this is a cool thing. And then, like, you know, I walk away from it and I'm like, oh shit, I should have taken a picture. And I'm like, well, I'm already walking, too bad, you know? So half of it's just whatever I was able to catch. And like, most of the time I'm too distracted to even focus on taking pictures. I'm like talking with my buddies or something. But there's a couple good ones in there that I post. There's some that I don't post, and those just have people's faces in them. Like, you know, I have done like some portraits and stuff, but I don't post those out of, like, you know, people's privacy. Like, you know, I respect their privacy. And most of the time I just don't want to ask them for permission. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'll email it to you. I'll send it to you. You can have it for yourself. Like, you know, it's good practice, but I'm not going to post it. So, yeah. And then there's also that, like, if I want to post updates and stuff, I got to make sure to not have, like, you know, people's faces in it and stuff. Like, I'm starting to kind of not really care if my face is in there. I don't really give a shit no more of, like, doing the whole faceless thing. People can know who I am. I don't really care anymore. Um, but, like, some of my friends, they'd like to remain anonymous, like, you know, for personal reasons. And I respect it. That was me as well. But now I'm just kind of, whatever. If it's me on there, whatever. But, like, you know, having to, like, work around that, not like, you know, annoying, but it is slightly inconvenient. So I'll get around to it eventually. And then there's also the fact of, like, walking around with, like, you know, your camera pointing everywhere, and everybody's like always questioning, oh, what are you taking pictures of? You shouldn't be taking pictures of me without, like, you know, my consent, blah blah. And I'm like, actually, we're in public, First Amendment, like, you know, I have the right to record anything that I can see from a public sidewalk, blah blah, you know, whatever. But I just hate those encounters, dude. I get so anxious during them. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna get shot today, sort of thing. Especially in my city, like, you know, neighboring cities, I'm a little bit more relaxed because, like, you know, um, there's less crime there compared to here, but there's more cool things to see, like, you know, so whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's just because, like, posting stuff is, like, hard. It's hard to know what to post, uh, and, like, what updates to give, what might be too much information, and what people would be, like, you know, willing to look at. But anyway, kind of went off on a tangent there, but the internet, I hate it and I love it. Like, you know, we're like, me and my buddies are trying to, like, do mods on Minecraft, start up a server, hang out, talk. That part of the internet, awesome. Lets us connect, even though, like, we might be, like, you know, in different cities, different states. Like, you know, we can still chill and talk, like, you know, on Discord. We got webcams, we got stuff like FaceTime, or, like, you can, like, do a face chat even through just Google itself. And that's cool. Like, you know, that part of the internet's cool. Like, you can connect and make your own little community. Like, you go on Discord, and there are Discord communities for a billion different things, like super niche to super broad things. When I was in college, there was, like, if I'm not mistaken, there was, like, an official college Discord for us, like, specifically for our university. And, like, you had to, like, put in, like, your student information and stuff, and then somebody would like go through it and be like, oh no, yeah, they do go to this university. And then you can find study groups and stuff like that. And I was like, whoa, that's actually kind of cool. Is it for me? No, because I was commuting to school, and I was like, if we set up these like study groups that we can do, because most of the stuff like you can do online, but this was more so it was a weird way for Discord to work, like, because I'm like, wouldn't you want to have like over Discord sort of communication? Because I mean, that's what Discord is, like, but this was more so, from what I understood, sharing like pictures of notes and stuff like that, and like setting up to meet in person, because majority of people like studying in groups, like in person. um and I guess it's easier for some people because like I mean, I guess because like you're at home or something, or like, you're at the dorm, and it's just loud all the time, like, maybe you live with your family still, your siblings are running around, so it's hard to have like, online study groups, I guess. But it seems stupid to me. Like, it was cool because you're like, whoa, community just for my school. But then the way that they kind of like delivered was like kind of stupid, because I'm like, it's Discord. Shouldn't you have your study groups over Discord instead of trying to have them like, in person? Like, isn't that the whole point of it? But whatever. But yeah, you can have like communities like that for anything. Like, I have a server that we're trying to fix up a little bit, and like I used to be part of one. I left, personal issues with the group, and then they added me back in, and I'm still there, but like, it died off. Nobody really talks on it no more. And now we have another one, and like, it's me, a couple of my buddies, some people from like our outer circle of friends, and I mean outer like as in they don't really hang out with us very often, but they're still really amazing friends. Like, they're the type of friends that you like, you ask them, hey, are you willing to hang out? And they'll be like, oh yeah, sure. And you just pick up like basically as if 2 years haven't passed. Like, it's awesome. And it's okay to have friends like that. Like, you stop seeing each other for a while, and then when they come back, you pick up where you left off. It's just life. Like, and then you have your friends that are kind of like more inner circle, and it's just like, due to like the situation that you're in and your circumstances, you get to hang out with them more. Like, they live down the street, or they go to work with you, or like, they have more hobbies and interests that they share with you. So that's normal. And it's not like you like some of your friends more than others. It's just that, like, that's the way that things work out. Like, that's how they work out. But anyway, that side of the internet's pretty cool. I do have a server like on Discord, and we just kind of lately we've been playing a lot of Black Ops 6. It's been pretty fun. Like, it's the first kind of time that I've jumped into a game like that and been able to play online multiplayer and hear people like, drop the fucking N-word in chats. Like, I thought it was a myth, but no, it's apparently Xbox Live really was like that. Because all these people are playing on console. Like, it shows a little icon next to your thing. So like mine shows like a Steam icon because I play on PC, and then like everybody else has like little consoles like next to their TV. So I just assume they're all playing like on Xbox and PS5. So, but they oh god, those lobby chats are wild. Those voice chats are wild. But anyway, yeah, making little communities and stuff. Like, we have our own little friendship community. Like, like a bunch of our friends are on the server. They can hop on a call whenever they want, and like, text the chat and go like, hey, at everyone who's down to play some like, Black Ops, or who's down to play some Minecraft, or like, whatever game. And that's cool. That's the cool part of the internet. It's the other side where people are chasing numbers and stuff on like Instagram and on YouTube, streaming, doing stupid shit. That stupid motherfucker that was in Japan and Korea that got arrested or whatever. I forgot his name. It was like Johnny something or some stupid like that. He was like out harassing people. I'm like, dude, that's fucked up. That guy, there's this other guy recently. I forgot where exactly it was. It was in the US though, but I forgot where. He went to like a supermarket and he got some bug spray, like Raid, and he starts spraying it on like the produce and stuff. And I'm like, dude, you're poisoning people. Like, even if they wash it, that can seep into the fruit. Like, especially like on the bananas and stuff. I'm like, that can seep into the fruit. Like, and even then, even if they're gonna like wash it or something, when they're like transferring it, like, they like pick it up, put it in a basket or something. I'm like, that's getting in their hands, and like, they rub their eyes or something. That's fucked up. Like, that's the fucked up side of the internet. They're just doing the stupid shit to like get views, and there's the stupid like, cash grab sort of AI stuff where they just want a bunch of views for like stupid things, and then the hateful people everywhere, like all the time. And like, honestly, I'd much rather just go outside and like interact with people in person now than on the internet. It's so hard to talk to people on the internet. And this is kind of like a side thing, but I have mentioned before, I think I have a couple pen pals that I like talk to. I send them letters through this app. It's for pen pals. And like, I did recommend this before, but it's so weird because all this degenerate behavior ends up everywhere, because there's this Reddit community, and like, Reddit's also a cesspool. Like, don't go on there. There's only certain communities that are nice, like, where they upload like dog and cat pictures, or they're like Faith in Humanity Restored or something like that. There's like servers for that. Those are cool, right? But there's this Reddit community specifically for the app that I use for like sending letters to pen pals. And I saw a post. It wasn't recently. It was probably a couple months ago, but it's in the back of my head still, where this person was like, I had to delete this app and like just get away from it, because every time that I post like because there's there's different ways of doing it. You can send a letter to somebody directly after seeing their profile. They can send one to you, or you can put up one like generic sort of letter with like your hobbies, interests, and stuff, and then anybody that sees it can reply. And I think they also have like auto match features where they'll like match you with somebody, and then you decide whether or not to send them a letter. There's a bunch of ways to like connect with people, right? But this person said that whenever they put up their like letter and people respond to them, they can tell it's AI, because like it doesn't keep the story straight, what it's trying to say. It makes spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes. And I do get like, sometimes people overreact, because it is like you are connecting with people around the world. Their English may not be as good, or like, their Spanish may not be as good. Whatever language you're talking in, they might not know that language very well. They might not be that good in it. So there might be some mistakes in there, but there's like a bunch of AI that they use for this. And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, yeah, that looks like really bad AI writing. Like, like AI when it was coming out, and it could not like, write sentences. Like, it was just so bad. It made no sense. And then I'm like, why would people do that? Like, it's a way to connect with people. It's like an authentic connection. You're talking to somebody across the world from you, and you use AI to write their letter. Like, it's not that hard to even when you need to translate things, like just dump it into a translating app like Google Translate. Although Google Translate isn't that good. Like, you could also use things like DeepL, which like, are slightly like a little bit better. Um and like just be able to like translate some things that maybe they put in their like native language because they don't know the English word or something, or you can translate things into their language so they understand it better. Like, and it's just trying to find that way of like communicating, and like finding a way to avoid miscommunication. But so many people just use AI, or they don't put any effort in there. Like, I saw this other one where somebody was like, this is why I don't like using this app anymore. And there was a letter that they got where it was like, hey, if you like my profile, write back to me, I guess. If not, whatever, period. Right? And then at the bottom, they're like, I'm adding this because it won't let me send the letter unless I have a certain word count. And there's just a bunch of gibberish and like, not even like trying to say like, hey, these are my hobbies. I saw that on your profile. You have these hobbies. Like, I'm really into this. I'm really into that. That's what I do when I send a letter. I'm like, hey, I'm into photography. I like horror movies. Like, I like hiking. I haven't done it a lot recently, but I really like the feeling of like, hiking, being out in the wilderness. I want to take up fishing someday soon. Like, I have like, my own podcast that I do. I like gaming sometimes with buddies. Like, I like to read. What type of books do I read? A lot of fantasy and horror books. Like, I like putting all that in the first letter so that they know like who they're dealing with, like, what interests I have, that yes, they are on my profile, but you can like go like, deeper into more detail, and like let them know. But these people are just like, yeah, write back to me, I guess, if you want to, if not, whatever. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck is that? Like, why even be on the app if you're not even gonna put an effort into it? Like, like whenever I meet somebody new, I always put like a lot of effort into the letter. And then like, it sucks when they don't reply back. There are some people that like, they send me a letter and then I send one back and they just never replied, and it's been like 2 years. Like, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, because then you'll find some other pen pals and like, maybe they'll stick around. And I've had one consistently, and she knows about this podcast. She just can't listen to it because, like, there are certain things that are banned where she's from. And I'm not going to say where she's from, but I'm pretty sure, uh, like, I'm pretty sure Spotify is banned out there. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, whatever. Um, but she knows about this, and like, she's very consistent on there. And like recently, she hadn't replied in forever. Like, I was like, okay, whatever. And I check on her profile. She's like, oh, like I'm in the middle of something. I'll reply when I can. I'm like, oh, cool. And then recently I got a reply, and she was like, yeah, I've been busy. I got another job. She's still in school. Like, she's in college still. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like, take your time, reply when you can, whatever. And it's just like, it's cool to be able to talk to people like that. Just like, naturally. Like, we've had dozens and dozens and dozens of letters. And there are a couple other pen pals that I have on there that have been consistent. Like, and I don't know. It's just, it's so cool to be able to like, talk to people around the world. Like that's what the internet should be. Like, you go on something like, oh gosh, this is going to be a bad example, but like you go on something like VR chat, and you can talk to people around the world. There's like servers and stuff on there, worlds where you can go and talk to people of different countries, and they like have little flags next to them saying where they're from, and like they'll tell you what languages they speak, and you could practice with them like speaking different languages. That's what the internet should be. But then there's the other side of it, and you know what? Now that I'm thinking, VR chat's a good example, is because it's both sides. Like you have the really nice side where like you talk to people, get to know people from around the world, learn their experiences. Like, you get some wisdom from these people. And then there's the other side where it's just degenerates yelling out slurs and random bullshit, and it's fucking annoying, dude. And I don't know. I feel like the internet, like, was full of like trolls back in the day, but it was like playful trolls. We're like, oh my gosh, this sucks, ha ha ha. And then like, they'd apologize if they went too far or something. Like, oh my bad, bro, I was just joking. Like, I didn't mean to hurt you. Like, your opinion's valid or whatever. And then nowadays they'll just double down. They're like, yeah, this is because you're a bitch and you're a pussy and like, blah blah. And I'm like, god fucking damn, bro, it's so bad. They'll double down and make you cry for no reason. Like, they are hurtful. They just rage bait like crazy, and they get off on like hurting people's feelings and making people feel bad, like, for no reason. I'm like, what the heck is wrong with you guys? Like, it's like they want to see people suffer, like, and like they want to make you angry and they think it's funny. And I'm like, yeah, like sometimes that is kind of funny when, like, the person is saying something that's like super wrong. Like, when they say something that's like morally wrong and like it's been determined by society to be super morally wrong, but they'll defend it with their life. Like, yeah, that might be a little funny. But then like there's people that just attack you for no reason. Like, it's like you talk about something personal and something like, super important to you and close to your heart, and then they'll just shit on all of that, dude. They will just drag you through the mud for no reason. And I hate that, dude. I hate that. And they do it because they want to get a rise out of you. Like, they want to see that you're angry. And then once you're angry, they like continue it to see how far you'll go. And it's kind of like with the bullying stuff. It's like the more you feed into it, the more they do it. And I hate that, dude. I hate that so much because there's these people that are like really defending what they believe. And like, it's so fucked up to see them get made fun of because they're like, no, like, like I'm not wrong. Like, this is actually what you should be doing. And it's just messed up, dude, to see these trolls just trolling on them hard. Like, there's people that are like, oh, I finally achieved my dreams of buying my dream car. And it's like they've never owned a car or something. And they get something like something weird, like let's just say like a Camry, right? And they're like, oh, your favorite, like your dream car's a Camry, get shit on, blah blah. And they like, start, and like, it hurts the person because they're like, dude, you don't know where I come from. Like, we didn't really have a lot of money growing up. I just wanted a car in general. And they like, they make fun of you for being poor. And I'm like, dude, that's fucked up. Like, it's not their fault that they were poor as a kid. Like, that was most likely their parents' fault. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, like invest in stocks when you're 5 years old? Like, it sounds like that stupid shit going on during like the recession when I was a kid. They're like, I hear all these older people be like, oh, you should have invested money. I'm like, dude, I'm like 22. I should have been investing money when the fucking stock market crash happened and houses were like 400,000 each for like a 2 bedroom. Like, I was a kid. I was like in fucking second grade, and you wanted me to invest money, that sort of thing. Like, that's the sort of fucking rage bait I fucking hate. Like, and some people do it jokingly, and they'll put like, oh no, bro, I'm just joking. Like, we're just making fun of the situation. I'm like, okay, all good, kind of funny, but those people that take it too far, man, I hate them with a passion, dude. I fucking hate them because there's some people that are just like, oblivious, and they actually think that these people like stand 100% behind what they're saying to them. And I'm like, no, that most likely they're not. They're just fucking with you just to see you angry. Like, it's messed up. Oh man. Yeah, but anyway, so the internet, man, it's been a fucked up place. If y'all want to see something like about like the internet stuff, I think I think Jacksepticeye. If anybody watches Jacksepticeye, my man Sean, really awesome dude, stand up dude. If you go on his channel, I think he talked at some point about how the internet's changed and how like messed up it is. I think maybe a couple other YouTubers have done this, but a lot of them have been like coming out and saying like, yeah, it used to be like a really nice community, and like, there were some like, rough spots where like, there's always some people that ruin it for the rest, but now it just seems like those people have taken over. It's just bullshit around every corner. So if you want to see something about that, I suggest you go on his channel. I think he has stuff about that. Um, I wish I could link it, but I don't think I can link it on here. I might on social media. Now that I think about it, that'd be something cool to post up there. Be like, hey guys, check this out. And it talks about what I talked about in like the recent episode. But yeah, I suggest you guys give that a watch. And kind of give your thoughts about it, I will try to post I guess, so that you guys can see what video I'm talking about. And I might put in a couple others there that I've seen where like people talk about like how the internet's changed for the worse. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Like, I was trying to keep this brief. I'm going on to like about an hour, but some of this might be edited out. So yeah, I've been like, pretty busy this month. I'll talk about it. I traveled. I'll just give you that. I traveled. I won't say where to until the episodes that I have set for January, because I'm still going to do an episode after this for December. Still deciding on what to do it about, but I'll let you know for January. Expect an episode saying like, I traveled and where I traveled to, and like, my experience doing that. And let's see, what other updates do I have for y'all. Short film is on a slight sort of like hiatus with like the script writing. Haven't really put too much time into that due to the holidays. Been having too much fun these holidays. Should have focused more on my work. Aside from that, I think that's pretty much it. I was going to redo the logo for the podcast like a while back, and I did finish it and I was ready to post it, and then we noticed a couple things that were kind of off about it, and we are gonna like set like a time to do some reshoots and stuff because I had to take pictures for it, and it just never happened. Our schedules never lined up, so I might just release the one that I have saved and just rock that one for a little bit, and y'all can probably tell me like how good or bad it is. It seemed cool in my head, and then once we did it, I was like, huh, yeah, it seems it's kind of weird, like, But yeah, there's that, and like, the episode coming up before January about traveling, the social media stuff, I'm still trying to figure out whether or not I want to keep posting on there. I mean, I pretty much have to if I want to get this discovered more, but I'll figure it out eventually, I guess. Also, let's see, I talked about how I was in the process of applying for a new job. That should not mess with the schedule of my uploads because I still have the weekends off for sure. Like for sure the weekends off, and then maybe a couple of days off in the week depending on whether or not I have work. And it should be a lot more relaxed. It's not like the current warehouse situation that I'm at. No more warehouse work. It'll just be me sitting at a desk, like, essentially. And yeah, so we'll see where that goes. I should be a lot more relaxed, I guess. And I'm kind of messing with the idea of doing like some gaming videos, possibly, maybe, question mark. I'm thinking about it. My buddy will see this video and he'll probably be like, yeah, maybe you should or maybe you shouldn't. He's done stuff like that before, so when he sees it, he'll be like, he'll tell me whether or not it's a good idea for me to do it. Just to like, see what it would be like, and try to make the internet a better place, like, because god damn is it fucking horrible. Specifically, just like, I know people say when you say social media, some people lump YouTube in there, but I think YouTube is like way better than things like TikTok and like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Like the regular social medias have way more stuff on there that's kind of like just fucking weird. But YouTube is like a little bit better. It's still bad, a little bit better. But anyway, I'll leave the episode here. I think I've talked for long enough. I talked longer than I wanted to, and I still haven't eaten breakfast, so I'm hungry. So I'll leave you guys to it. I'll see you guys in the next episode. And, stay safe out there. Be careful on the internet. The internet is a crazy, fucking horrible place. So be careful what you do out there. Don't solicit, like, pictures from people and stuff too. I've had a lot of people tell me that they've gotten hacked and stuff and blackmailed. So don't be doing no weird, nasty shit out there, you fucking weirdos, you know? But, you know, I love y'all. Be safe out there. Don't do any weird stuff on the internet. Be careful on the internet. It's a scary place. Try to make it a better place. Have fun with your friends. Make your own Discord server. Be on that side of the internet. Like, you know, be on that side of the internet. It's a lot more fun, less stressful. Yeah, so I'll leave it there. I'll see you guys next episode. And remember to rate the podcast, share it with a friend if you think that it's worthy of them listening to it. And I'll see you around the next episode. All right. Bye, guys.